Hi. So I just wanted to make a video with my oldest cat, and his name is Billu, and he's super comfortable with me because we kind of grew up together for a decade. But anyway, why am I making this video? So when I was way younger and I used to have different pet, and the internet was a booming thing, I think it always kind of fascinated me how you could make a video about something and the whole thing would get immortalized. And in this weird way, I love my cat and he's growing old and I don't know how much time he has. I'm trying to prolong it as much as possible and he's kind of living a good life for a old life. For an old man, he's taking it quite well. So yeah, I want to make a video with him today, and today is one of those rare days where he's in the mood to cuddle with me. So yeah, I'll talk about him. So his mother is the first cat that I befriended, and I didn't exactly adopt her. I just gave her food one day, and then I befriended her, and then she would come over to my house, and that's how I gained her trust. So anyway, the whore that she was, she actually had kids. She actually had kids like two three times before this guy, and then this guy was born, and by that time she really trusted my family to have her kids here. So this guy was born somewhere near my house. I wasn't there at my home at that place because it was a while back, and I was in college, but then I came back from college and I met him. And in my home I have my parents who are obviously like much older, so they can't be like younger old me and cuddle with a cat, right? So their relationship was much more transactional. They would feed him and then he grew up to be a healthy boy, whatever. But when I would come over from college, because I was a young kid, I used to waste a lot of time on my phone, and I'd be because it can get super hot sometimes. I'd be sitting on the floor like this, and this guy used to like to cuddle with me, and he's actually the first cat in the whole family who actually, coming from a family of much more feral cats, he was the first one who would vibe with me, and then yeah, he'd just sit here and chill with me forever. So, a fun fact about him, like you can see, he's kind of white, no racism here, and he's a random albino mutant in his family. So his family is much more of a darker color. Yeah, there's no racial connotations here, and yeah, that's one thing about him. He's also, for some reason, he's much more fond of human culture and life. He's always curious about it. Like when we're sitting at a table, he'll try to mimic us and sit at the table. And yeah, he likes to be a cuddly boy. And since he's a pretty boy, he's pretty popular with the ladies anyway. Now, obviously, I've seen him for decades, and he's grown through like he used to be a young boy who was struggling to fight other male cats in my area. Then he had a phase where he was the thug here, and he was beating the shit out of any cat came here. Now he's kind of old, and like I could show you, he does kind of limp and have some weird joints. Plus, if you look at his finger, I never picked up if this is a mutation, but one of his fingers is loose and he can't retract the claw. That could also be like due to a lot of fighting with other cats when he was growing up. And I don't know if this is visible here or not, but he has a small cut on his nose. So this part of his nose is loose or used to be much looser. And then when he came with the cut, I was super worried because like I thought if that is an infection that spreads, a lot of shit could happen to him. I don't know how that happened. We're assuming he got like stuck in some wire while crossing a tight space. And anyway, I've been applying a lot of antiseptic ointment to him for like the last 2 months, and it has recovered now. So now a skin layer has grown on it, but he still does have like a small cut mark on his nose, but beyond that he is mostly good. And yeah, that's the story of my oldest cat for now. And I don't know how long I have with him, but funnily I've learned never to bet against him because like for the last, I mean, a decade is pretty old for a feral cat who doesn't even stay at my house full time. And then I think from the last 2 3 years we've been seeing him growing old, and every time we see him, we're like, we never know how long he's gonna kick it. But I've learned not to bet against him because, well, he's just been kicking it that long. So yeah. Hi Milu. Surprisingly, he's so old, he really doesn't give a shit about whatever the fuck I do to him. And yeah, I know which are the spots he likes to be itched around and which are the spots he prefers not to be touched. Though, since I'm kinda considered his family, I can do whatever. Like, I'm allowed to stroke him the opposite way, but yeah, this is slowly pissing him off. And yeah, I think that's it. That's good enough for an intro to like my oldest cat. And do you have anything to say below? Meow.